Dr. Leland, my question is primarily for you, but I appreciate all of the talks. And I'm wondering, experimentally and conceptually, after exercise, when the hearts have hypertrophied, have you then removed them back to a sedentary state and seen atrophy and studied then a difference in atrophy in male and female? And is that as efficient, or is there some kind of histories? Is there loss there? Or can we expect preconditioning? I mean, is that a more adaptable state?
Yeah, so I think that we prefer to call it regression, because I think of atrophy in a very active way in a disease state, but that could be a semantic point. And what we see is we're just now doing those experiments, but I can tell you a little bit of preliminary data. It seems like the males, have less hypertrophy, so you have to normalize to the percentage, but it does appear that the females are undergoing hypertrophy from their exercise slower than the males. That may be indicating a protective effect, which I think is pretty interesting. So we've done the same thing in response to regression after isoproterenol, and the males in this case get more hypertrophy than the females do as a pathologic type of hypertrophy. And again, the females are actually going slower, and we don't understand that yet.
Then that women over time are, they're growing their heart and it's not quite shrinking back, and they're growing the heart, it's not quite shrinking back, and so we've induced this chronic physiologic state that's becoming pathologic.
Yeah, so we've been looking at breeder mice who undergo this huge amount of hypertrophy, a lot of hypertrophy in response to pregnancy. And so what happens if you do those breeders just like you would just because you want to keep mice around as opposed to a separate experiment, they actually they end up with hypertrophy that never goes back to normal if you keep breeding them like that. And it does in the end, after about 5 or 6 successive pregnancies, you do start to see a little bit of systolic dysfunction in those animals.